let's debate the top 5 quarterbacks right now in the NFL. We'll each give our 5, then our 4, 3, then our 2, and obviously then our number 1. And we'll each go one at a time. And Brad, you went first yesterday, my friend. Would you like to serve first here again today, or do you want to switch it up?
Oh, let's switch it up, my friend. You take the honors because your number 1 is actually my numero dos. So please share.
Okay. All right. So I figured, why not? I'll do a little honorable mention as well. I had Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts right outside the top 5. I know Jalen Hurts got a ton of slander this year. That's fine. I've seen this guy as the best player on the field in both of the Super Bowls he's been in. He was the reigning Super Bowl MVP. I blame most of the offensive struggles this year on a broken down offensive line, a horrendous offensive play caller, and coordinator in Kevin Patullo. And I still think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. Now, again, he would probably have to run more, but I just want to get that out of the way. I got Jalen Hurts just outside the top 5. All right, number 5. It's the guy that I picked to win the MVP last year, and he was third in the odds going into the game against the Chicago Bears, where he ended up suffering a concussion. Otherwise, he might have had an outside shot to win the award. I think he's going to win the MVP this year. I think just in terms of sheer talent that he possesses, for me, he's probably the most talented quarterback in the NFL. Now, it's about putting it all together, and that would be Mr. Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers.
Stay off the weed.
Fair.
What a surprise. Our producer, Chicago Bears fan, Brandon Combs, inserting that sounder there. Wow. Shocker. He doesn't agree with that one. Look, Caleb Williams. Jordan Love has proven that he's a top 5 quarterback, despite the fact that his head coach, Matt LaFleur, wanted to run the football until he died. That was proven again in the Green Bay Packers playoff game against the Chicago Bears, where they blew that massive lead at the half. Jordan Love is absolutely cooking the Bears secondary. And every time they got a first down on one of their final drives, Matt LaFleur couldn't wait. Oh, it's first down. I have to run the football. I have to. Oh, gain of 2. All right, now we're going to pass. Jordan Love, back shoulder throw, dime over the middle, drop passes, and, saving Matt LaFleur's ass. But, again, still not enough. Jordan Love, by the way, in that last game against the Bears, 323 yards and 4 touchdowns. So the guy has proven time in and time out again that he can elevate and play an A-plus level in the biggest of games every single year. Now, again, the numbers don't scream. They don't jump off the board. And he's missed a couple of games each of the last 2 years because of an injury. He only played 15 games this year and 15 games last year. So only between 33 and 3,400 yards. But you combine the last 3 seasons, this is a guy that has 82 touchdown passes and 28 interceptions. Again, I just think you watch the eye test really tells you that Jordan Love is a top 5 quarterback because you see him make every single throw in the arsenal. The game this year that he had against the Detroit Lions, I thought was amazing. The game that he had against the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, where he's just the rainbows on the money of 40 yards down the field. Jordan Love is a top 5 quarterback. He's number 5. And I think this is finally the year where Matt LaFleur leans on him and says, hey, you're our greatest asset. You're our most valuable player. Let's have you, routinely throw 30, 35 passes a game because we know that you're capable of lighting up any defense that you play. So for me, Jordan Love, number 5.
Yeah, you're high as a kite. I would have gone Caleb Williams in this situation because bear down, Chicago Bears. However, at number 5 for me, and this may be a shock to the casuals and attendants, but it's Patrick Mahomes. We saw a precipitous
Stay
decline.
off the weed.
No, hey, the THC drink store is flowing at Casa de Evans, and maybe that was an influential factor why I ranked him at number 5, but I have sound and justifiable reasons why I have him as low on this list. He's still one of the best, arm slot action quarterbacks in the NFL. Can absolutely throw some lasers at all points across the field, and obviously when his arsenal is healthy, he can tear up just about any secondary that is out there. The biggest issue for Mahomes, and the reason why it gives me pause of placing him higher, is he was number 25 overall in WAR, wins above replacement, That's track from a fantasy football perspective, but you're like, oh, it's just fantasy. That doesn't apply to reality. Well, here are the real numbers as to why I have him ranked as low as I do on the list. He was only number 28 in adjusted completion percentage. That stinks. He was number 26 in deep ball completion percentage. Equally stinks. And almost as bad, he was number 25 in red zone completion percentage. And again, he had Rashee Rice back. I know Travis Kelce was a little bit longer in the tooth. But he was still on the field for the majority of the season. Xavier Worthy was on the field for a large chunk of the season. Mahomes wasn't all that good this year. We have to accept reality. So, peer past just the standard name, if you did his blind resume style with the statistical output that he had and the regression that he suffered, not only in just surface data, but the advanced analytics, and it matches with the eye test and some of the misfires he consistently had, Patrick Mahomes is lucky, is fortunate to be number 5 on this list. And I heavily debated Brock Purdy at number 5 as well, because when he is healthy, he's a hell of a lot more accurate than Patty Mahomes.
You gotta be taping me.
You almost had Brock Purdy over Patrick Mahomes. Come on,
I did.
Man. Now look, I love me some Brock Purdy. My former show, I used to do a quarterback ranking 1 through 32 every single Wednesday during the football season. And once Brock Purdy got healthy, I said, this guy's top 10 quarterback. And I believe that. I think he's probably number 10. That's where I probably have Brock Purdy. Number 5, I think, is crazy. I had him. Mahomes is crazy. You're not wrong about Mahomes' regression in terms of the numbers over the last 2 years. And yes, there were certain times that deep ball, you're like, man, like that's on Mahomes. That's on Mahomes there. Like all these throws he used to make with ease, 50-yard bombs through the air on the money. I agree. I still think Patrick Mahomes is at worst a top 3 quarterback in the game. And I'll tell you where I have him in a little bit. I don't know if you're crazy for saying he's number 5. I think it's borderline crazy. I still think he has built up enough equity. Again, this is a guy that, let me just read you some of his accolades here. Not that I need to, but 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champ, and 3-time Super Bowl MVP, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think the Chiefs won it, and there was anybody not named Mahomes that has won it. So, again, I still think he's built up enough equity that, yes, even though it's back-to-back rough seasons for Mahomes, I don't think you can kick him out of the top 3. I think circumstances have to play at least a little bit of a role here. So, anyway, by the way, if you want to join in on the phones, because at least Brandon Combs thinks this is very contentious and debatable, the phone number to join is 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. We're debating the top 5 quarterbacks right now in the NFL. All right. Let's move this along. Number 4 for me is a guy that I probably would have had number 2 12 months ago, but I do have to drop him because of the injury-plagued season, and also when he played in the back half of the year, he wasn't very good, and that's Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP, could have been a 3-time MVP last year. Again, when you watch him play, it really is video game stuff. Like you see him do stuff that basically nobody else can do. When you combine what he does with his arm and the agility and the speed and the open field danger, the just impossibility that it is to tackle him, and a guy that's going to break every rushing record that there is from a quarterback. If he hasn't, or he's already broken multiple, he's going to end up breaking every single one, all of Michael Vick's records. He's going to break them all. But this year, again, this is now adding on to what has become the biggest problems for Lamar Jackson. And that's he struggles to stay healthy. And he also is not very good in the playoffs. And so this year they don't even make the playoffs. But in the last couple of seasons, Lamar Jackson, outperformed by Josh Allen. Both times they've played each other. Multiple turnovers in each of their last couple of playoff losses. The one to Buffalo 2 years ago, the AFC title game to the Chiefs, multiple turnovers. It's Lamar Jackson every time. But what he does in the regular season, it's sheer greatness. So for me, Lamar is still inside the top 5. I got him, though, at number 4.
All right, my number 4, the modern-day Joe Cool. It's got to be Joe Burrow for me. A guy a couple of years removed from a 40-touchdown campaign. He just needs protection. That's the biggest issue for him. He's got one of the elite, maybe the number 101 wide receivers in the league, and Jamar Chase. T. Higgins ain't too bad either. Here is a phenomenal stat as tracked at playerprofiler.com. He was numero uno among all eligible NFL quarterbacks last season in clean pocket, catchable rate. If you give him time, he's going to tear you up. The guy's money in the bank. Joe Burrow at number 4 for me. And man, I wish I was as handsome as him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, if we're grading off pure looks, Burrow probably number 1, right? I don't
Number
know.
1
I
has
don't know if
to
we
be.
need to get in.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to get into the debate of who's the most handsome quarterback. I don't think that's the kind of show we're doing here, but anyway, I opened up that can of worms. All right, number 3 for me, it's the reigning MVP. It's Matthew Stafford. And look, I mean, the guy has been he's easily been top 10 for the last decade or so, but then like aging like a fine wine, to say the least. Greatest season of his career at age 37, now newly 38-year-old, 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns. He's a Super Bowl champion. He is an MVP now to add on to that. It's a guy that we look at his career now, and he's got 64,500 yards, over 420 touchdowns. I think Matthew Stafford is probably etching his name closer and closer to being a top 10 quarterback of all time. And right now, even in the twilight of his career, he has cemented himself as a top 5 quarterback because the no-look throws, the sidearm stuff, he can make every throw there is to make, and he does it in the big games. He's a proven playoff performer. So for me, Matthew Stafford, after this season, cemented into the top 5, and right now, I think he's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. I got him at number 3.
All right, that's entirely fair. Number 3 on my list. This one's going to be a point of controversy, apparently, and definitely in Brandon Combs' mind, our wonderful producer here on BetMGM tonight, Drake May. And I know what you're thinking. The sample size, Evans. That's why it's coming out. But again, you look at with the eye test of the regular season, and you got to ignore the recency bias and the underwhelming performance that he had largely in the NFL postseason. Still guided New England to a Super Bowl appearance, though he fell flat on his face against Seattle. He was number 7 in the regular season in adjusted completion percentage. He was also number 7 in deep ball completion percentage. Struggled a little bit in the red zone, but the duality of Drake May is just phenomenal. And a guy that was able to maximize his production with limited weaponry. And his number 1 was Stephon Diggs. Okay, decent, but probably more of a WR2 really at this point in his career. Doing it with Kayshon Boutte, doing it with Hunter Henry, doing it with Mac Hollins. Like if he had the weapons that Joe Burrow has, Drake May could be number 1 on this list. So he is at number 3 for me. Thoroughly impressed with Mayday this past year, and the arrow continues to point up.
Yeah, that's crazy. To me, that's crazy. After what was a really good regular season, then we saw him absolutely soil the bed in the postseason, and I tried to make the excuses for him. I thought he was going to play better in the Super Bowl. He didn't. He basically played 4 egregiously bad playoff games in a row. I don't know how you have him in the top 5, even though he did have a great regular season. Number 2
season
for me,
counts.
Yeah, it does for sure. Number 2 for me, Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, he was number 1 unanimous up until last year. Into the beginning of last year, the beginning of the 2024 season, which then ended in 2025. And it was another year of kind of, man, the numbers just they're not there, and the deep ball's not there. Then he has this season, they missed the playoffs. Not his fault, but he also didn't play great, and I think he's slid back to 2. I debated putting Stafford ahead of him, but I still think, again, over the course of his career, he has done enough legendary stuff. He's already on pace. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to be up there battling to break all of Brady's records. Still, that's my belief. I know the last couple of years, that they've kind of fallen off that pace just a little bit. I still think pound for pound, Patrick Mahomes is the second best quarterback in the NFL, and I would give him every opportunity to reclaim the throne by the end of next season.
Number 2 for me has got to be Josh Allen, former MVP, do it all du jour, get it done on the ground, getting it done through the air, tough as nails. He was number 1 overall among all quarterbacks in fantasy, wore number 10 overall, regardless of position in that category, number 5 in adjusted completion percentage, number 12 in deep ball completion percentage, number 6 in red zone completion percentage, and he did it with a bare cupboard. Didn't have the weapons. No offense, Khalil Shakir, but really you're more of a WR2 than a surefire WR1. Josh Allen, number 2, my top 5 quarterback list.
Yeah, and Josh Allen's going to be number one for me. All the reasons you said. Now, look, he had the worst playoff game of his career in that loss against the Broncos. Before that, Josh Allen was on pace to become the greatest playoff quarterback of all time. Now, he's got to win the Super Bowl, of course. He's got to get there. But, again, he's got his MVP finally in the 2025 season, a guy that we see consistently put everybody on his back and carry his team. The arm is there, what he could do with the legs, bulldozing people. Josh Allen, for me, number one quarterback in the NFL going into next year.
Yeah, and I'm not an ageist. Number one for me is Matty Stafford, the reigning MVP. Just a phenomenal year for him. The 40-plus touchdown passes, and it helps when he had Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. And you look at the overall numbers. One that's kind of shocking, he was only number 32 in adjusted completion percentage. But the other key categories, number 10 at deep ball completion percentage, number 7 at red zone completion percentage, just very rarely makes mistakes. He right now is, in my mind, the true pace setter among NFL quarterbacks, and really the standard of the position. I know he's got the advanced age, but just an incredible year, and I think he's going to deliver an age 38 year next season.
There you go. So Brad's 5 through 1, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Drake May, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. My 5 through 1, Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.